Now playing in your ear, Full Body Cast presents SoftBall's HardTalk, a podcast where we talk about softball as hard as we can. Thank you for listening and play ball!
No, he wasn't.
He was playing first base.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was tempted to ask him where Mike Blowers was.
Yeah, why is he not playing with you now?
Yeah.
I would bring that up, but nobody'd get that, so.
Well, I still like it. Mike Blowers cussed me out at a casino once, so we can.
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah.
that.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of SoftBall's Hard Talk. Brought to you by all the sponsors that bring everything to you. Coal Street Brewery, Mazatlan, and Bordeaux Wine Bar. We've got, on this episode, we got the Bentley Bros, Craig and Corey.
That is my name.
That is your name for a
Yes.
moment there. Cut out there my throat. I thought I was going to die for a moment. And we also got, who we're really going to talk with, though, is the number one fan of Garage Night, Lee Sinkovic. Not Sinkovic, right?
No
Do
H.
you get that a lot?
All the time, my entire life.
Is that because of, is there a street called,
There is.
and it's Sinkovic,
Yes.
but it's no relation to you, or they
No.
just misspelled yours because you guys were over here for years?
Well, what it was is, if we want to get into it,
Yeah, let's do it.
is when the OG Sinkovics came over, they changed the spelling of it so it was phonetic. So in the old country, it was spelled Zinkovich. And so dumb Americans said, no, we're not doing that. Too many consonants. And so they just did it phonetically. Sink-o-vic.
Gotcha.
So everybody can pronounce it.
Yeah. And they still get it wrong.
All right. Well, do not go up to him and call him Lee Sinkovic.
It doesn't bother
Doesn't bother
me.
you anymore?
No.
He's also the number one relief pitcher in softball history.
So we're gonna.
That's right.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about that.
Yep.
All right. So we got, this is SoftBall's Hard Talk, talking about softball as hard as we can. We've got Lee here. Lee, let's dive right in.
Okay.
How old were you when you first started playing softball?
That would... How long ago was that?
The ski-in team?
No, it was Colt 45s. That was the first...
Oh, our first year was ski-in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was 18 or 19. So you were probably
You weren't on
right after
skiing, you joined on Colt 45.
Yeah, Colt 45s
that.
was...
It's probably a year or two after that.
Yeah. So, and we're roughly the same age. So 20, let's say. 20, 21.
And how'd you get involved? Like, you just walk by one day, like, hey, I want to play this, or did someone invite you on, or how'd that go?
Yeah, no, it again stemmed from the real garage night over at Craig's, where decided to put the softball team back together. And I used to be an athlete, so I was like, oh, softball. And then Craig mentioned there'd be beer there, so I said I'm in.
Ben.
And then the rest is history. From there started the Colt 45s. That was an awesome name.
We almost got new jerseys like every year for a while.
For a while we did.
Yeah.
Colt 45, we were sponsored by Boise Creek Grocery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, the
Jason
one
got-
next to...
yeah,
yeah,
right next to it.
Jason
Wow.
got Boise Creek to sponsor us that year.
Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
crazy.
With the 45, the Colt logo. That
Yeah.
was. I might still have that hanging in my garage.
I wish
not my
I still had
garage,
that
my
shirt.
closet somewhere.
Now, did you... so what position did you play when you first showed up?
So when I first showed up, I played usually middle infield somewhere, probably second base or catcher. Didn't like the outfield. When I first joined the team, Big Mac was pitching, so we didn't have any other pitchers. And then, so I just kind of played second base or catcher, just about anywhere, except for third, because Big V wouldn't let anyone else play third.
I like
except
how
for
you have like Big Mac, Big V. What were you, Big Lee?
And but after that first year, we needed a pitcher, and so then I was like, yeah, okay, I'll try pitching. And then from there on out, that was predominantly what I did was pitched.
I like that nickname.
Yeah.
Predominant Lee.
Oh, that's pretty
Or
good.
Dominant Lee.
That's better.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your podcast name.
And unless it got too windy out, and then I refused to pitch.
Now, were you known for hitting?
Craig knows what I'm talking
That
about.
is
Were
true.
were you hitting too or no?
No, I can't hit anything at all. Well, I can hit the ball. I just can't hit it over the fence. no matter how much I'd want to try, the physics behind hitting a softball over the fence, I will never understand. I think I have one in my entire career.
Was it a lucky swing, or was it like the perfect everything? Like
It just fell into place. It was a hot day, so the ball just cut through the air. Wasn't too cold or anything to slow the ball down. I didn't even think it went over the fence. No one else did either. They thought it went under the fence, but I claimed it, and the ump called it a home run, so it was good enough for me.
So it forever will be.
That's right. While making a lifelong bet with Corey on who would get to
Which I destroyed in 1 year. And I had no home runs, 1 year of all home runs that I hit, and then not since have I hit home runs.
really?
Yeah, because neither one of us would hit home runs. And so, again, one of those nights, it's like, all right, lifelong bet. Who can get to...
We had everything on Lifelong Bet.
We
We
did.
had a chugging contest, ping pong.
Yeah, but that chugging thing still bothers me.
Why?
Because I'm rather good at it, except for you.
Don't chug out of a glass with me. That's just a lesson you learned.
So wait a second. I feel like Craig's the one. I'm getting off topic on Softball's Hard Talk, but I feel like Craig is the one that likes to bet. Do you get envious of these bets that are going on right now?
He has his own.
No.
Oh, I don't need to be a part of that.
Yeah.
They're not going to bet me who can hit home runs.
That's you.
Well, more than them, yes.
Who can chug? Can you
Well,
chug?
Not out of a glass, Corey can beat me.
Beer.
Out of a glass.
Oh, out of a glass? You're not talking water? We're talking like
No,
beer.
Beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give
But
me
out
a
of a
can
bo-
or a bottle.
Yeah,
it's
out of a
different.
bottle, I won't beat him.
Do you
I'll-
do the swirl technique where you get the and then
The vortex.
The DOS
Yeah.
boot.
So anyway, I also kind of interrupted you on the windy thing. How come you don't like to pitch in the wind? What happened?
The nub changes it then.
Well, that was before I was introduced to my pitching coach, Corey Bentley, and it was a tournament in Puyallup, wasn't it?
We were in Puyallup at
Yeah.
Heritage.
And it was single-handedly the worst job I've ever done pitching in my life. I could not get the ball over the plate. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. It was horrible.
I had to pull him.
Yeah, seriously, I got yanked. A softball pitcher between innings, and Craig, when he gets serious, likes to talk with his hands. And I'm just
That's 100% true.
yeah, and I'm sitting on the end of the bench, and I'm pissed off. And the guys, know me well enough to know that if I'm pissed off, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
because I can get pretty angry. And I'm just sitting there, just stewing on it, drinking beer, of course, but stewing on it. And Craig comes over, and he sits down. And he doesn't really say anything to me. He just kind of sits there, and then he turns to me, and just kind of starts,
Do the hand
almost
gestures.
doing like American Sign Language with me. And he's like, "Well, why don't you take the next inning off?" And I was like, "Okay." I mean, at that point, I was like, "Whatever. I don't care," because that was the thing with me in softball, and for most of the guys on the team, I was just out there to have fun. But there were some guys on the team, and I don't know what it's like now because I've been retired for a couple of years now.
Oh, you don't play even now?
No,
Wow.
no. That a lot of guys were starting to take it pretty serious, and that's not what I was there for. So, I mean, if I had to sit a game from pitching, I didn't care, whatever. So, yeah, no, I retired a couple of years ago. I was on the active roster.
Your
Yeah.
work schedule kind of
Yeah.
it hampered him from playing a lot.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with work and
Your knee.
both knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 18 calling you out when he sees you in public.
This is good. This is a good pod for that story.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So,
18's going to be on the pod too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
of course he is. So one of the
Why wouldn't he?
it might have been even my last season, and I joked with Corey earlier about how often he gets hurt playing softball. We're probably neck and neck on injuries sustained playing softball. The difference is with Corey, it can be different parts of his body. For me, it was always my knee. One of my knees, because I played soccer my entire life up into college, and then blew it out, and then blew it out again, and then blew out the other one. So the knees are a hot mess. And like a dummy, though, I just I still want to try and
Leg out doubles.
leg out doubles, and just try and stay a little bit active. And
Why she Lily got a double, then trying to jump slide head first in a second?
Charlie Hustle.
You see the yellow socks sliding across the dirt.
But it might have been the last time I played, and I still remember it because it really fucking hurt. It was legging out to score a run. I was rounding third, and I think even Craig was next at bat because he might have been sitting at home plate waiting. And I start rounding third, and I feel my knee go. And I wear braces on my knees when I'm playing to try and hold them in place.
Forrest Gump out there? I mean, like, you got the metal ones? Like, you got offensive linemen?
No, not like that. They're supposed to hold the kneecaps in place. And I felt my knees start to go, and I keep going because it's like, well, I'm going
60 feet to glory.
Yeah, that's right. And I take another step with the right leg. It was fine. I was like, okay, I'm good. And I take another step with the left, and I was not good at all. And I fall down about 10 feet from home plate. And luckily, the ball was deep enough that I was able to just kind of get up and hobble across the plate, and then I fell over. Scored the run.
You did.
And get on the bench, and it was over. Seth came over. He's like, "You're not good, are you?" I was like, "No, not at all." So that was the end of it. And so I spend the rest of the night with ice on it, and get home. And the thing with my wife is she doesn't mind that I do all this extra stuff with softball and soccer and play the game still, so long as I don't come home hurt, because she doesn't want to take care of it. And, she worries too. And she knows my knees are all screwed up. And so I didn't say a word to her about being hurt, and just kind of toughed it out. A couple days go by, and we happen to be at the bank, and 18 and his girlfriend, or
wife now.
Wife
now.
Casey?
Yeah, wife.
I don't know her name.
It is.
It's Mrs. 18.
Yeah, Mrs. 18.
I work with her. Yeah.
Are there, and we're just kind of talking, and 18's like, "Hey man, good to see you up and about after you hurt your knee at softball," and in front of my wife, and she turns to me and she's like, "What is he talking about?"
Dude, that is something that I could just see that.
I was like, "It's nothing.
It's 18. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's young and dumb and impressionable." But
and haven't played softball since because of him.
And haven't played softball. I don't even know if am I on the active roster still?
No.
Not this year.
No, that's too bad.
Huh?
But yeah, I mean, the injuries hurt, but most of it has to do with just work or coaching soccer at all sorts of different places. So it's just a life thing.
Do you got that? Would you say that your glory moment was crossing that plate with like as if you've been shot from a sniper, like crossing home plate with your knee out?
No.
What was your glory moment?
Surviving the volcanic mud flow tournament that was sponsored by Budweiser, where we all got annihilated, where it probably the most I've ever drank in probably my life. It was an insane amount of beer. There was beer in the dugouts because it was sponsored by Budweiser. And it was surviving that tournament, getting home, suffering from heat stroke. Like none of my body I was so dehydrated because all I drank was beer. Getting the heat stroke, getting in the ice cold bath to try and lower the temperature, and just surviving all that nonsense. That nonsense was probably. I don't know.
That's the glory moment. I lived.
Yeah. Because that's like I said. I don't know. Maybe is there a glorious moment you remember of my softball career?
I remember I have one of favorite moments.
What's that?
When Pierce was pitching, and then we called you out of the dugout as a relief pitcher. I actually came out as a coach and called you in as a righty, and you came running in from outside out in the by the parking lot.
Down the foul.
Yeah, you came running down the foul line like you came out of a bullpen.
That was against Reed's team, wasn't it?
I think
it was
so.
a team we knew because we didn't want to be assholes to someone we didn't know. But yeah, that was awesome coming out of the bullpen in softball.
So you were I think introduced as the number one relief pitcher of all of softball.
Yeah, I'd like to compare my softball career to John Smoltz, where I started as a starting pitcher, and then towards the end of my career, I transitioned to relief pitching, and now he's a Hall of Famer.
And you got saves and wins?
Oh, saves, low whip, low ERA.
Did you ever blow a save?
No,
Never.
never blew a save. Never.
That's impressive. That means they put you in when they're really, really up, just in case.
That's right.
It's 19-2, Lee can pitch now.
Not going to blow this one. As long as the wind didn't kick up.
Yeah. Not the worst pitching I've ever seen either, that wind performance. Remember we watched Garrett and Seth both try to pitch in a game?
That was horrible.
And that was probably the worst pitching performances
I think Seth's going to be on here in a little bit.
Ask
Right?
Seth about his pitching performance.
Ask him 2 questions. His pitching performance and this last week, how he dove in the outfield.
yeah.
He dove
Yeah.
in
You
the
also
outfield.
need to ask him about his attire because
He still does.
He still
His
does.
kid does too.
Yeah.
Oh, he is the most professionally dressed softball player I've ever seen in my life. It's inspiring.
Always tucked and belted.
Does
Tucked and belted.
Does he look like a creative softball player? Like where it just
His kid looks more like a softball player now.
Yeah.
But he would be the guy that if we needed someone to represent our team to try and intimidate and look like we knew what we were doing, you send out Seth because he's got the pants, he's got it tucked in, he's got the belt on, he's a pretty well built dude. It's like, okay, we're in trouble against these guys, and then it would all fall apart.
Caden looks the same now.
Yeah.
And Caden hit a ball so far over the fence
it was
the other night.
was it against KP or was that a different one?
No,
This
this was
was
the other
another one. This last week, he hit another one out.
Dude, it was
And
like
it was
a half
just-
swing. It
yeah.
was like 340.
It would just went forever.
He's just the
I mean, we all know Seth never did that.
Yeah.
But,
he's the
So
Ohtani.
are you guys the old team now?
Yes, by a lot.
Hey, 10-4 on the season.
Oh, nice.
As the old team.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Made the playoffs.
Ooh,
It's old man muscle.
two night playoffs.
Yeah.
It will be. It's the same. It's Eden Claw. It's the same as it was when we were playing.
Tuesday and Wednesdays.
Yes.
Lee's like, you guys need somebody for the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was
Get
gonna.
me on the roster.
I was on that 410. What time do your guys' games start,
6:15.
dude? What time do you guys have to start battling the traffic just to get to the freaking six?
We show up at 5
We
start
go there
anyway.
at 5,
yeah.
yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
The other day I went to Bonnie Lake and I left at like 4:30, 4:45, and it was already back past Southwood.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's changed since I've been gone, but yeah, we would show up routinely an hour before first pitch.
It's about an hour and 15 now.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
And then just
warm up.
Yeah, well, yeah, get lubricated a little bit.
Warm
loosen
up. Sometimes you're in the parking lot all too long. You can't even play catch.
Yeah.
That has happened.
That is the difference now. You see that there's young teams out there on the field, like hitting and doing drills, and
Yeah.
we're just in the parking lot drinking. Like, nah, we don't need that anymore.
No.
What was your favorite tournament that you've been a part of?
The volcanic mud flow was fun. They're probably the greatest. Oh, here's a great softball moment. I don't even remember what tournament it was, but we had a long enough break that we went to Red Robin, and
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
I was on one end of the table, and Craig and Corey were on the other end of the table. And I just kind of looked down just out of the corner of my eye, and I see the two of them conspiring. and they're both kind of looking at me, and I see them kind of point, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And it was right around this time of year. And a little bit of time goes by, and all of a sudden, here comes the troop of Red Robin people with a little like cupcake thing. And it gets better. And this is probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
There,
Been a while.
Yeah, 12 to 15 years ago. So I was mid-20s. And they come out, they start singing the happy birthday song to me. And the lady leans over and she said, "Happy 45th birthday."
Oh my gosh.
And
Whose idea? Wait, real quick. Whose idea was the 45? Who said it?
We'll just take even credit.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And so I look down and I see these two jackasses just laughing hysterically. And then I got to tell this, poor woman, I was like, I'm actually 24. And she's looking at me. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Your friends down at the end of the table, they said I wouldn't do this if they didn't tell me they told me it was your 45th birthday."
And it was believable.
Yeah, and it was believable. And that's because, there's no video here, right?
No.
We're-
That you know
None
of.
of your Patreons pay for video yet. But
That we know of.
yeah,
Not yet.
but I've looked about like this
Me too.
for the last,
Yeah.
since I was about 20.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I went bald by like 19.
Yeah, same. So it was very, as I'm actually getting older, the discrepancies, because Craig likes to play the game with new people, guess Lee's age.
Yeah, it's always fun.
And, as I get older, it keeps getting closer and closer. But for a long time,
It was way off.
it was like,
Like
oh,
decades.
yeah. It's like, oh, he's 44. So I'm 27. But yeah, that was another good.
That was a fun
But the funny
tournament,
thing is like, so you don't. Same thing with me. I mean, you don't have any gray in the beard. You don't have
I
any.
got a little bit coming in
Yeah,
right in
well,
here, but not much.
Yeah. Well, I'm 39, so I'll be there. You'll give you
Yeah.
a couple of years, but maybe hopefully it doesn't work out for you that way. But you tend to. Once I started looking like closer to my age, this thing started going white, and I'm like, crap, dude. Now I look like this is setting me back. Like either go bald or go white. Like just don't do both. That hurts.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was, and then you guys have to go play again.
Then we went
after
back
that.
and finished the tournament.
Yeah, then we went and finished the tournament.
Yeah.
But
Those tournaments were always fun.
Yeah,
those adrenaline teams we were on.
yeah.
Dude, we played. Looking back, we played a lot of softball.
We played
a lot
ton.
of tournaments.
Yeah, it was every, if it wasn't every week, it was at least 2 weekends a month for forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. It was good times though.
So would you say that your Wendy was the worst performance you've ever had, or do you know of another time where it was just like, why am I even playing?
It'd be hard to beat that as my worst performance. The problem is again the physics of hitting a softball are beyond me, and when I was competing with Corey on home runs, I would try and just hit the piss out of the ball, and more often than not, I mean that my strikeout to hit ratio that season was way off.
You know what our lifelong total is?
I'm at 1.
It's 8-0 because that one, or 8-1 because that year, that 1 year was all I hit.
Yeah. So what you're saying is there's a chance.
There is.
Craig, get me on the active roster.
Just DH in the entire time.
That would
You
be
weren't
awesome.
there, so I made another bet this year with Angelo. Whoever hits the home run first has to pay the other's jersey, and neither of us had done it.
Not even inside the park?
Don't bring that up because that happened last week, and he wants me to pay for it, and it's not a home run.
Why is it not a home run?
It didn't go over the fence.
Did you stipulate that?
Yeah, well, no, but we didn't stipulate
there
a
you go.
count.
There you
either.
go. Sorry,
home run's a
Corey.
home run.
Corey owes money.
Nope.
Home run's
Not a home run.
Hey, so these guys remembered your worst story. Did you remember your time where they were just stunk it up for a moment?
I don't think my worst heat was on the team.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember your worst
Yeah.
one? What was it?
I had stopped playing tournaments, and then I went back and joined their tournament team again. I used to be an outfielder, and I actually was pretty good outfielder.
I heard the Willie Mays story.
And there's multiple times that I've caught like robbed home runs and stuff, and I got to the point where I couldn't run that much anymore, and I was getting hurt a lot. I was tearing stuff.
Oh, so
but I had joined their tournament team again, and I was going to play infield, but I ended up having to play outfield. I went and played outfield again. And it was probably the worst. I couldn't read the ball at all. I was running. I'd call it, and I'd be like 20 feet away. And I'm like, oh, my God, I can't get to it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like I was just like half speed out
was it
there.
turf? Were you going from grass to turf?
No, it was
'Cause-
grass. But we were up in a tournament playing teams that were good. And I think was it Pierce's team? It was one of the teams like he was on. It was like a Mullen type team that was good. And they knew it. And they saw me in right field, and then they continually tried hitting to me over there once they knew I couldn't get to stuff.
What a bunch of jerks.
And it was a
Nightmare
bad,
fuel. Softball
yeah.
nightmare fuel on that
And
one.
that's like an inning or two, and then I'm like, I can't run out here anymore. I haven't played outfield since then.
Sheesh.
First base. Fred McGriff.
It's been first base, stretch and scoop.
Are you pretty good?
At first, yeah. But I tore my hamstring too.
Well, he never had to stretch or scoop when I was playing second base. It was just straight Jeff George laser
yeah,
beams.
yeah. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It was going to go through me.
That's right.
Oh, it's just 20 years of greatness.
Do you expect anything other than Craig? I'm
Really
just
though,
good, just good at
in
everything.
all honesty though, I can't remember one. Like I remember obviously the crap games I've had. Corey remembers it. I don't remember Craig going through a sustained crap period of softball. I mean, he was always just
No junk era.
no. I mean, he tried and do a stupid little Bentley shuffle.
Oh, 4 for 4 the other night with shovel.
Yeah, he was.
Nice.
He still shuffles.
where it might not come off for a game or two, but it was never. And then if he wanted, he's like, okay, I'll just stop doing that stupid crap, and then I'll just hit the ball and everything's fine again.
He also still tries to fake the pitcher fake with the bat.
Oh yeah,
He still does that.
that would probably be Craig's greatest moment against.
That was the Turtles team.
Yes, where there was pump faking back and forth for, I'm not kidding, probably close to 30 seconds. Which
with the pitcher and the
Fake pitch, and then Craig would fake swing.
Which might not sound like, but for 30 seconds of just standing there, as Craig's doing this little tomahawk chop to time the pump fake of the pitcher, and they're just staring at each other, and it was remarkable. It was.
I still tell people that story. That was one of the funnest things because it was one of those things. I like doing that to get in a pitcher's head. But this pitcher is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I ended up hitting a double off of him in the gap after we did that. And he comes and catches the ball from the outfielder and walks up to me, like on second base, and goes, that was pretty good. And then walks back to the pitcher. And that was awesome. That was like, it was fun.
Yeah.
I don't even care if I would have got out. It was fun.
Yeah.
Another good one was, I think it was Ording, but not the year you got hit.
We had a couple years we played that tournament.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But where somebody I think Big V got hurt, and Thornton was there
Yeah.
just to watch and drink beer. And Big V gets hurt, and now we're down a player, and Thornton comes in like he's Willis Reed. just coming in from the bench. He squeezes into Big V's cleats.
Oh.
And he'd been supporting us.
He'd been drinking.
He'd been drinking for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, probably 6 or 7 hours straight of drinking. And, I've known Kyle for about as long as I've known these guys. I did not know Kyle when Kyle was, Mr. Enumclaw, super athlete.
Athletic.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know Kyle then, but I've heard all about it.
Oh, yeah.
And so Kyle comes up to bat. I happen to be coaching first base, and I didn't know that Kyle batted lefty. And so I was like, oh, so this is cool. And so I'm watching him, and guy throws a pitch. Kyle swings and misses. I was like, okay, just working the bugs out. Here we go, Mr. Athlete. Here we go.
Greatest swing ever.
And he swung. The second pitch comes in. He swung like he's Paul Bunyan, and probably missed the ball by 6 to 8 inches.
It would have went so far if he connected.
If he would have hit that ball,
it would have went forever.
It'd still be flying. But he missed, and he swung over the top of it, spun about 450 degrees because he spun all the way around and then another half to where his back is facing me, and he starts staggering, just back and back and back.
Oh, I love Kyle. I don't want to air this.
And down he goes.
I love Kyle. I don't want to air this. No.
And it was one of the greatest moments of my softball career, was being able to coach first base while the mighty Thornton came to bat.
This is a soul stone that I'm not going to get.
And then it was after he kept yelling at the
He had spent that entire day yelling, "Pop that balloon,
Pop
Red!
that balloon, Red!" And he did it again after.
Yeah, and he didn't stop after he fell. Any time a pitch, it didn't even have to be close. If we had one strike or 2 strikes on the guy, if it was just thrown, Thornton, pop that balloon, Red!
Yeah, I love Kyle. I feel bad now.
Why? It's part of softball hard talk.
Yeah.
It is.
Those
it
were
is.
good tournaments.
Yeah, we have to talk hard.
That's
about
all.
these
I was
things.
just in it for the fun, for the
There was
goofs and the laughs.
There was a lot of stuff we did at those tournaments. It was
Hey,
fun.
I want to do one clarification though,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I listened last week to softball hard talks with Kyle
Yeah,
Pierce
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and you were talking about his stat page,
Yeah.
right? We all have stat pages. You can go look up any of us. And
Are you
see
serious?
Any team that we've played
Do
on.
we? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see my stats.
You go to no, it's not necessarily a stat. So it shows all the teams you've played on.
Oh.
Now Kyle's did show he's got some MVPs, that kind of stuff that some of us don't have.
Sure.
So I'm not going to take that away from him because he does have more on his page.
Got an
Right.
MVP.
But that page you were talking about, everybody that's played softball, you go look up any of us. We're all on there.
Is it co-ed too? All that?
It should be if you played U-Trip.
Dude, I gotta look up my wife's now. That's
Yeah.
crazy. What's the website or whatever?
It's utriplesa.com.
You tripped what?
utriplesa.com.
So do I spell out triple or do I go
No.
USSSA?
USSRIPL.
A triple S.
Wait, you triple X?
Yeah, that'd be a different one.
UVinDiesel.com.
I just want to clarify that because I thought about that.
I want to check out. I want to check that out.
It was kind of like it was a special deal, and it's not super special.
Yeah.
His is because he's way more competitive
Now,
than we go with too.
You're fact checking him right now. Was he the number? He was ranked the number 1 team in the country.
Mullen was pretty high when he was on that team.
Wow.
Yeah, I would not doubt it if they were. I mean, I don't think that they ever won a Worlds or.
He said that they didn't. He said
Yeah.
in fact that they didn't do too well. And
Washington teams do not do very well when anybody goes to Worlds. But he was on a very dominant team, and I got to a point where, I mean, I love softball. I think it's about beer drinking. I played up to the D level, which is one below where he was.
Right, he was in C.
And those guys, it becomes pretty serious. I enjoyed it for a little bit, but I would much rather play at E or Rec and have fun.
And just have fun.
Because I mean, we played.
We went to Worlds at E, right?
We went to Worlds at E.
Yeah.
Was that Vegas too, or was that in like Portland?
It was in Portland when we went. Yeah.
We didn't do well.
We did not. We had fun though.
It was
Portland
fun.
was fun.
Portland was a lot of fun. Not a lot of winning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything to add before we leave? There's no shout outs to this one. It's just more of talking hard about softballs.
No, it's just been softball's been a long time. I remember I think I started at 17, and we started the ski-in team.
Yep.
And as long as you had a ski-in jersey, we got into ski-in, no matter how old I was. So that was fun. We had a lot of different people we played with over the years. It's
There's
been
a lot of
fun.
people. If anybody wants to go, if anybody's at the ski in, right when you walk in, you turn to the right. I haven't been there since they've reopened from COVID.
No. I'll tell you the story real quick.
But if you turn to the right, we still had a plaque up on the wall.
Really?
Yeah, from when they were our sponsor.
We won the league that year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Put
then
them on the map.
there was also the year we played KISW. We got
We
them.
did. We played foul balls.
We played
Yeah,
the
we
foul
played the
balls
foul
one year.
balls.
That was pretty cool.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Afterward,
All the sponsors came down, or all their
radio
men's-
personalities.
Double R was still a thing then.
yeah,
so double
he was
R
on
came
DJ
down.
and men's room came down. We hung out afterwards.
Pierce hit Double R's brother with a horseshoe in the chest
Yeah.
at the beak.
Yeah, you should ask him about that.
There were a couple things getting hit at the beak that night.
There was a couple things.
that was yeah.
They actually went to ski in like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and played pool. Was there with Big V, not your guys' Big V, but Veronica and also Sean. And somebody clinked like with their pool stick on accident, like the light fixture that's hanging above the pool table, and dust just went like a lot of dust. It's like,
Sounds about right.
you guys have been closed for a year. Like, you guys could have wiped that thing down like at some point.
That's probably been there for like 20 years. Why
Yeah.
would you wipe it down a
It's
year
the
later?
ambiance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also thought about all dust is dead skin mostly. I'm like, dude, that's where COVID started. Like someone breathes that in, they're done.
Isn't that what you go there for? Just that ambiance and that jukebox.
And the cigarette machine.
And to play darts.
Oh, the cigarette
You
machine.
can play darts there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, Lee. Thank you for bringing us down your softball lane and giving us some memories as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And thank you for being happy on this one.
Told you. Be much happier.
The title just changes the mood.
That's it. That's all it takes. I'm really a jovial guy.
And then Corey as well. Didn't go as deep with you, but, we go deep
We go deep other places.
other places.
Yeah, we do.
On Garage Night. Soon to be labeled Peg Hard. And then we've got Craig. Thank you for being on. We've heard of your stories, but
Oh, absolutely.
it's nice to have you on.
Anytime I can be on it makes it better.
The best thing about this is that I don't play softball, and I just get to hear these stories. And then I also, because my wife plays, she's great. In fact, they try to get me to play with her, and I'm like, she's so good. Like, I can't. I would feel like an idiot in front of her. So I would feel good playing, and I like it. So I'll just watch and keep score.
New idea after all this softball, hard talk.
Yeah.
Co-ed full buddy team next year. You're playing.
I'll manage. And you know what the fun
I
thing
will
would?
never keep score. Something that bothered Craig to my last day is I refused to keep book and I refused to learn. So whenever I'd be sitting on the bench, I'm like, oh, sorry, give it to someone else. I don't know what I'm doing.
Even the day I pulled him out.
Yeah.
He's like the only one on the bench. You're keeping score also. Nope.
Not happening.
Did that make you mad?
No, not really.
Did you carry it out and just like it's in your back pocket? You're doing it. Who did it? Or did-
I could have did it and played position. I'm fine.
We usually.
Yeah, such an asshole.
God. I didn't even need my glove. I was out there on a unicycle as well.
That would be amazing.
That would be sweet. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great week. And again, thanks to Craig, Corey, and Lee for being on this one. Take care.
Presents SoftBall's Hard Talk, a podcast where we talk about softball as hard as we can. Thank you for listening and play ball!